Okay. Hello, everyone. This is probably the fifth or sixth time I've done this, so let's see how this one goes. Today, we're going to explore the critical intersections of terrorism, hate motivated violence, and the criminal justice system. Let's start by examining what drives individuals and groups to commit acts of terrorism. At its core, terrorism involves the unlawful use of violence to intimidate or coerce governments or civilian populations in pursuit of political, social, or ideological, can't pronounce it now, goals. What drives these actors varies widely. Ideology and politics. Many terrorists are driven by radical political beliefs, a desire to overthrow existing government, or deep-seated anti-government sentiments. Religious extremist is often used to justify violence where perpetrators believe they are fighting a cosmic war or fulfilling a divine mandate. Hate in many cases is a systematic prejudice of hatred act as primary catalyst, fueling campaigns of violence against targeted demographics. The role of hate in terrorism. Now, that's a critical question to ask. Are all terrorist acts driven by hate? The answer is no. Much of terrorism is purely strategic and political. For instance, a group might target military infractions or infrastructure, there you go, or government installations to force a geopolitical shift or policy change where personal hatred or demographic group isn't the primary drive. However, when hate plays a role, such as racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism, it fundamentally changes the nature of the act. Hate targets specific groups by dehumanizing them. The goal is not just to destroy property or shoot people or shock a government, but to completely terrorize an entire community, signaling them that they are unwanted and unsafe anywhere in society. How hate crimes differ from other crimes. So let's move from terrorism to hate crimes. We see distinct category of offense within the criminal justice system. While a standard crime like an assault or vandalism is typically motivated by immediate personal conflict, passion, not compassion, or financial gain, a hate crime is different. Motivations behind hate crimes have three unique major factors. Motivation, they are driven by a prejudice, bias, animus toward a protected characteristic such as race, religion, sexual orientation, disability, or gender identity. Victim selection, their specific individual targets is often interchangeable. The perpetrator is sending a message of intimidation to an entire community. The social impact of this is the psychological ripple effect that damages community cohesion, creating widespread fear and isolation far beyond the direct victim. Because of this unique and systematic harm, hate crimes almost always carry enhanced penalties. The legal system recognizes that a bias-motivated crime tears at every fabric of the civil society, warranting a harsher punishment to deter similar acts of systematic terror. So I did 2 case studies on this for real world examples. To better understand these concepts, let's look at 2 specific cases that highlight the difference between hate crime and domestic terrorism. So let's first look at the tragic hate crime and the murder of Gwen Araujo. In October of 2002 in California, 4 young men beat and strangled a 17-year-old transgender girl to death. The crime was committed after they suspected that she was really a boy and forced physical inspection on her. They became enraged when they found out she was really a boy because they felt like they were being tricked or lied to. So the prosecutors did seek hate crime enhancements, but the legal battles and the deployment of a controversial trans panic defense resulted in convictions for second-degree murder and voluntary manslaughter between these 4 guys, highlighting the historical legal hurdles victims of gender identity faces. The second one was a domestic terrorism act that happened in 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing. This was the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in the United States committed by Gulf War vet Timothy McVeigh and his co-conspirator Terry Nichols. They were radicalized by the anti-government ideologies and extreme anti-government propaganda. They carried out the truck bombing of the Alfred Murrah Federal Building in April of 1995, killing 168 people and 19 children. As a direct act of violent retaliation against the U.S. federal government, they stated the motivation was revenge for the federal law enforcement actions of the deadly sieges of Ruby Ridge in 92 and Waco in 93, which they viewed as overreaches of federal power. McVeigh specifically hoped the attack would spark a broader anti-government uprising. So, ultimately, while terrorism and hate crimes manifest differently, ranging from massive geopolitical attacks to targeted community violence, both weaponize fear and prejudice to achieve their destructive aim. Understanding these motivations and legal distinctions is essential for law enforcement policymakers and society as a whole to effectively prevent and combat them. So hopefully you can watch this one and hear it. Thanks.